Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, several tenants are displaced after fire broke out at Victoria apartment complex.
Police investigate after a family's pet goat was found mutilated under mysterious circumstances.
And if you need to visit the driver license office in Victoria, you'll have to head out of town for now. Find out why the office is temporarily closed.
We're going to be looking at the gathering storm. You see that low over there? That's going to be the system that creates the snow over North Texas. We're going to get rain. We'll stay above freezing. We're all right, but it's people in Dallas that got to worry about it. We'll have all that coming up in a moment.
And former Furriel head football coach Jason Herring gets inducted to the Coastal Bend Coaches Association Hall of Honor. I'll tell you more in sport.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Don Brubaker.
Several residents are displaced after an apartment fire this morning. It broke out at the Houston House Apartments in the 100 block of Cornwall Drive shortly after 10 o'clock. Firefighters put out the flames quickly, but multiple units had smoke and water damage. 4 people were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The American Red Cross is working with the residents who are needing temporary shelter. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Well, the city of Victoria is easing up on water use rules. Thanks to recent rainfall, the city is lifting stage 2 restrictions and moving back to stage 1 of the drought plan. This decision comes after 14 days of steady Guadalupe River flow above the low flow threshold that's set by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. Under stage 1, you don't have to limit non-essential water use, but the city still encourages smart conservation, like watering your lawn wisely. Just about an inch per week is plenty. Upgrading to water efficient appliances and using the free WaterWise program to monitor usage and catch leaks early.
The burn ban in DeWitt County is over, but before residents burn outside, they must notify the DeWitt County Sheriff's Office. DeWitt County residents can only burn during daylight outside when wind speeds are below 23 miles an hour. Water must be available at the burn site.
With more cold nights in the forecast, warming centers are staying open in Victoria. The Salvation Army will house men only, while the First United Methodist Church and Our Lady of Sorrows is open to anyone. All centers are open from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. through Saturday. Last night, a total of 50 people took shelter in the Victoria warming centers to get out of the cold.
2 warming shelters in Cuero are open through Friday. The Cuero Fire Department at 219 East Main Street is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The Cuero Municipal Library at 207 East Main Street is open from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And now let's take a first look at your forecast. Here's First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. Mac, are we getting a little break in the cold tonight for a few hours and then round 2?
Well, yes, the answer is tonight will be chilly, cold, but not below freezing. This morning we were at 28. We'll be in the 30s tonight, but here I've got the map set up for Thursday, and you can see rain is going to be increasing for us. Icy road conditions throughout North Texas, and yeah, there'll probably be some snow in the Dallas area. We'll talk all about that coming up in just a moment.
Mac, thank you. Victoria County is hosting a presentation on how to prepare for a winter storm. It's scheduled for Thursday, January 16th at 5 p.m. Public Health Emergency Coordinator Ralph Montez will lead the class on how winter storms impact public health and how you can stay safe. Just show up at the Dr. Patty Dotson Public Health Center to hear more about what you can do to prepare for a winter storm.
How to prepare your home, for instance, how to protect your pipes and what to do for your pets, and if somebody is on medication, how to store it properly or how to have backup in case the power goes out. Because we live in Texas, so our weather is very unpredictable and we never know when something is going to occur.
The Victoria County Public Health Department says that the presentation is specifically about winter storm preparation. It is not in response to the freeze this week.
More than 2,800 Texans are getting abortion pills through the mail from out of state every month, prompting a lawsuit and legislation seeking to end the practice. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com.
The Victoria Driver License Office is temporarily closed for maintenance. During the closure, customers are being directed to offices in Port Lavaca and Cuero for services. Victoria's staff has been relocated to those locations to help with the increased demand. Customers with existing appointments have been notified. Appointments will resume in Victoria once repairs are finished.
A bizarre and disturbing story out of West Harris County tonight. A family returns home to find their beloved pet goat brutally killed under mysterious circumstances.
The details are as chilling as they are puzzling, and now investigators are trying to determine what happened. A warning, some images may be disturbing to viewers.
This is kind of the stuff that you read about on the news, not expecting it to actually happen to you.
Cody Roby says he, his wife, and their 4 kids have lived in their West Harris County home for about 3 years. They were at his parents' house late yesterday afternoon when Cody says he believes it happened. The family got back home at about 10 o'clock last night.
I went out there to go bring the goat in, and I found that she was lifeless on the ground. And when I grabbed a flashlight, I then realized that her head was gone and nowhere to be found.
Cody immediately went to go tell his wife about what had happened to Willow, their pet goat, the anniversary gift he'd given her in October.
To my wife, like, this got some unbreakable news to you. I don't know how to say this, but our goat is headless.
Cody says he and his wife looked everywhere in their backyard and around their house for Willow's head, but it was gone. Even more unusual, there was no sign that anyone had been in their backyard, and there was no blood. Cody says the blood in Willow's body had been drained.
She was dry.
The only clue Cody has is from audio captured by the security camera in the backyard. At about 5:15, you hear what sounds like Willow the goat getting killed. We're not sharing the audio because it's too disturbing.
It's awful noises, you know, it's terrible.
The video does not show what's happening during those 8 minutes, and you never see anyone enter or leave the backyard. Cody called the Harris County Sheriff's Office, and deputies came to investigate.
That's what they said. It was more than likely for a satanic ritual of some sort.
Cody says they told him Willow was clearly killed by a person.
Yeah, never something you want to spend your day doing, that's for sure.
Cody went ahead and buried Willow here, 4 feet under, in the backyard. Tonight will be the hardest part, though, when Cody will tell his 4 young kids their pet goat is dead.
On a much lighter note, rainbow trout are back at the Riverside Park Duck Pond. Texas Parks and Wildlife stocked the pond with 1,000 trout. Plus, you might reel in catfish or bluegill. Remember, only pole and line fishing is allowed. No more than 5 fish can be kept per day. There is no size limit, though, and a fishing license is required for anyone 17 or older. Everyone's asked to respect the park's wildlife, don't leave fishing lines behind, and if you decide to feed the ducks while you're there, you're asked to skip the bread on that. But if you need to borrow some gear, Parks and Rec has fishing poles at 532 McCrite Drive. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10. New details are coming out about last week's Las Vegas explosion, and police are sharing how the bomber planned his attack.
Also had 2 stowaways found dead in a plane's landing gear. Sparked serious questions about airport security and how they got there in the first place.
Welcome back. Las Vegas police say last week's Cybertruck bomber used a traditional car bomb. Surveillance video also shows the suspect pouring fuel onto the Cybertruck before the explosion. A 6-page document found on his cell phone indicates he wanted to make the blast as public as possible, but he also wrote he didn't want to hurt anyone else. The explosion only killed the bomber, though it also injured 7 people outside the Trump International Hotel. Investigators say he used AI to help build the bomb.
He basically starts using ChatGPT, which is a generative AI, to be able to get information on how to conduct this particular plot. So ultimately, you'll see that he looks at trying to figure out the amount of explosives needed in order to conduct the explosion he was looking to cause.
OpenAI, in a statement, says it is working with law enforcement in the investigation. Authorities say initial findings revealed at least 60 pounds of explosive material. If all of it had detonated, the blast would have been much larger. Investigators aren't sure if he didn't detonate all of it on purpose to limit how many people he hurt, or if he just failed to do so for another reason. Investigators are trying to figure out how 2 people ended up in the wheel well of a JetBlue airplane that landed in Florida Monday night.
The badly decomposed bodies were found during a routine maintenance inspection, raising serious questions about how they got on the plane and airline security overall.
It is the latest in a rash of in-flight incidents with fatal results. The discovery of 2 bodies at Fort Lauderdale's airport has police asking how and where the men snuck on board a JetBlue flight, apparently dying while stowing away with the plane's landing gear.
JetBlue advised the gate technician in the landing gear area noticed 2 males as they are not moving in the landing gear area.
Police say passengers had already deplaned when emergency crews arrived and pronounced the stowaways dead. The flight arrived at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport around 11:30 Monday night from New York's JFK. Now investigators are looking at the plane's flight history, which started Monday in Kingston, Jamaica, then flew to JFK, Salt Lake City, and back to JFK before flying to Florida.
Detectives will be looking at all aspects contributing to the circumstances of this incident. Where did the plane come from? How long were the individuals on the plane?
It's not happened since in the 6 years that I've been here, but clearly it's been in the news recently at other airports.
Just last month, the body was discovered in the wheel well of a United Airlines flight that flew from Chicago to Maui on Christmas Eve. The opening, which stores a plane's retractable wheels, is about the size of a car's trunk, but is not pressurized like the rest of the plane, meaning stowaways risk extreme cold, oxygen deprivation, getting crushed by the wheels, or falling to the ground.
Once you're in, you're in. But that's also where it is the most difficult to find something even approaching a safe place.
Former NTSB Managing Director Peter Goals points to the latest FAA data, which says 80% of wheel well stowaways die.
I would not be surprised if we see a few more. These are high-profile events. People take it into their minds that they can get away with it, that they know a way to do it, and it will turn out poorly.
Those 2 people have not yet been identified.
A TSA spokesperson said the incident remains under investigation. A new study reveals more toxic forever chemicals may be contaminating U.S. drinking water. Researchers trace these chemicals to prescription drugs that slip through wastewater treatment systems. Even advanced systems release them into waterways, which can cycle back into drinking supplies. The study found these chemicals in water samples across the country, potentially exposing 23 million Americans. With nearly 15,000 types identified, these chemicals don't break down, sticking around in the environment and in us.
For the first time, the FDA has set lead limits for processed baby foods. New guidelines call for no more than 10 parts per billion in items like baby yogurts and processed fruits, and 20 parts per billion for root vegetables, which absorb more lead from the soil. The guidance excludes infant formula and snacks like teething biscuits and is not enforceable. Child advocates say most baby foods already meet these limits and criticize the measures as ineffective, as no level of lead is safe for young children. Salmon fraud, fake salmon, could be on your plate, especially when dining out at a sushi restaurant.
ABC's Allison Cossack explains.
A new study out of Seattle is raising concerns about salmon mislabeling. Researchers tested salmon samples from 67 grocery stores and 52 sushi restaurants throughout the city using a DNA analysis. Results showed that 18% of salmon was labeled incorrectly. Farmed salmon was often identified as wild Pacific salmon, especially on the menu at sushi restaurants. This despite Washington state laws aimed at preventing such fraud. Why is this salmon misrepresentation a problem? Experts warn that farmed salmon may contain antibiotic-resistant bacteria due to antibiotic use in fish farms. Plus, consumers are being overcharged an average of $8.50 more per pound for a lower quality product. Although this study looked exclusively at what was happening in Seattle, the researchers say that the findings likely apply to other parts of the country as well. With this Medical Minute, I'm Allison Cossack.
Well, good evening, everyone. We are looking at 48 degrees right about now. The winds have settled down, so it's not going to be a problem. You know, that sharp north wind. But today you might have noticed that the cloud deck rolled back in, so tomorrow's not going to be a sunny day. It's going to be overcast. We were down to 28 this morning, so we did hit the forecast number, and our high was 54. However, tomorrow, what the clouds mean is that we're going to start getting rain, and that rain is going to be heavy on Thursday, so we'll talk more about it coming up after this. Well, good evening, everyone. We have the alert flags up because it's going to get complicated, not only for us, but for the entire state over the next few days. Now, from tonight through Wednesday, short term, I want you to know that in the Crossroads, we're going to be above freezing, okay? Problem is, with the cloud cover that came in today, we're going to start beginning to get a cold rain. Now, it's going to start as a little mist and then a little heavier, but by tomorrow night we should be fairly sloppy around here as all that moisture is rolling back up into the area. Now, out here in the southwest is the actual storm that's going to create all that activity. That is a deep area of low pressure in the upper atmosphere. That's the thing that, if you have family in Los Angeles, LA was getting 50 to 70 mile an hour offshore winds today, the Class 6 Santa Ana, but this is an enhanced Santa Ana. This is a really strong one. Well, as that thing moves across Texas, that's going to be the focusing point for all the snow and where everything's going to be. So let's take a look at it. We're looking for tonight getting down to 35. Not as bad as this morning. We were at 28. Much of the Texas north of San Antonio will be in the 20s. Tomorrow, with no sun, we're not going to be much warmer. As a matter of fact, we'll be a little cooler down into the mid 40s because of the overcast. What time does the rain begin? Well, I think that by afternoon, you're going to see, kind of a steady drizzle, and then it gets a little heavier by tomorrow night. Now, watch this. We go to Wednesday, then we go to Wednesday afternoon, and then we go to Wednesday night, and you can see what I'm talking about. There's the rain coming up. And here are the pink spots. That's a winter mix. So it could be sleet, could be ice crystals, could be what they call grapple, could be, little frozen precipitation. But the roadways are not cold enough right now to have a huge problem. But they're going to have to get ready, because in a day or two, if it stays below freezing, it's a problem. Now, here we are on Thursday. The rain will be getting heavier for us on Thursday. The snow line is actually moving up a little bit farther north. At first it was going to be Austin, Waco. Now it's Waco northward to maybe Waxahachie, where the freeze line is located. But notice that Thursday we get quite a bit of precipitation over the area. There you go. Thursday night into Friday morning, the heaviest activity. Now here's the potential problem there. Now Dallas, yes, I'm talking 3 to 5 inches of snow possible in the Dallas area. And as we had the illuminated information today, we found out that there's going to be a big game there on Friday night. It's the Cotton Bowl, thanks to Don for reminding me. And at 6:30 p.m., the good thing is they're going to be indoors. Thing is, traveling over, traveling back, roadways, freeways, parking lots, how are they going to be impacted? I don't want to discourage anybody from going. It's just you better know how to drive in icy roadways, because at game time outside it'll be 36, and by the end of the game outside, obviously it'll be 32. So they've got improving weather, but not exactly a good weather. All right, so let's just deal with that. Cloudy tomorrow, not a lot of sun, only 43 the high temperature. Cloudy all day in Cuero, northeast winds staying chilly all day long. The rain begins tomorrow night. It's heavy on Thursday, also on Friday morning, but then it clears out as the storm moves out of the area, and we've got actually an improving weather pattern for the weekend at least, but it'll still be on the chilly side. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Shawna.
All right, well, this first winter blast brings us to our viewer poll. We wanted to know, do you love the cold weather or do you loathe it? You say bring on the snow or wake me up when it's springtime. We want to hear from you. Visit our website, crossroadstoday.com/vote. And it's been pretty close today, but the wake me up when it's springtime has been in the lead all evening. So I think it's a little shock to our system all of a sudden to have this cold weather.
I think people wanted the snow a few years ago, and then the polar plunge hit in 21, and now people want sun and 365 days a year, which is impossible unless you live in South Florida, maybe.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it either.
No.
So, all right. Well, now we send it over to Max Williams for sports. Max.
All right, thanks, Shawna. And after the break, I'm going to review Victoria West and East men's and women's basketball teams, see how they did there in district play. I'll tell you in a few moments here in sports. All right, Crossroads. So this Thursday here, the Coastal Bend Coaches Association is going to induct here former Refugio head football coach there, Jason Herring there, to their Hall of Honor there. So again, Herring became Refugio's head coach back there in 2007. He stepped down March there of 2024 there. Again, was there for 17 seasons. He led the Bobcats there to 3 state championships. Again, he won at least 11 games every year there as the football head coach there. And again, he stepped down back there in 2024. Again, had some health reasons, but he brought a winning culture there to Refugio for the many years. Congrats to him getting inducted there, the Coastal Bend Coaches Association there, Hall of Honor. Now, we had some big breaking news here in the Crossroads earlier with Edna wide receiver there, Braylon Harris, committing to Murray State there earlier. He announced there on Twitter. He kind of mentioned there as well, he wanted to give all the glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in his post. And secondly, I'm excited to announce my commitment there to Murray State University. I want to thank Coach Moore and Coach Wright for making this all possible for him. And then ends off there saying, go Racers. And again, Harris again had a career season there for the Edna Cowboys this season. Again, wish him luck there at the next level there at Murray State. Now today, Victoria East, Victoria West basketball, they played their in men's and women's games all over the place there today. And first, with Victoria East women's basketball team, they traveled there to face the Lamar Consolidated Mustangs tonight. They hung on to get the victory there 53-51 as Avery Valentine led the team with 20 points and hit a game-winning bucket at the buzzer to win that game there over Lamar Consolidated. And again, for East, they keep going on their win streak as well. Again, they're going to see if they can keep the momentum going there in district play there going on this Friday. Now, Victoria West women's basketball, they played on the road too against the Marshall Buffaloes. This one was a tough one. They lost down to the wire 49-45. Zy Morgan led the team there with points, though, 15 points, and Kirsten Kahn had 10 points to add there for West. Again, they're going to try to see if they can get back on track as they get to face their Lamar Consolidated, the team that lost their nail-biter to Victoria East, like I just mentioned there, back at home there this Friday. Now over to some men's basketball. Victoria West men's team, they hosted the Marshall Buffaloes at home today. Did not go their way. They lost badly. They're 62-17. Again, Marshall Buffaloes are 24-2 there in the men's basketball ranks there as well. And again, Victoria West 10-12. So again, see if they can rebound there, Victoria West there, as they get to travel over to Lamar Consolidated there. As the women's team hosts, you can see the pattern there. I'm talking about team. Usually, women's basketball has to host a team. The men's got to travel. So they're going to travel over there to Lamar Consolidated there next week. Now over to some other volleyball awards there for Goliad and Cuero here. Again, Goliad senior Addison Yendry got first team All-State selection there this earlier today, and Isabel Sanchez was selected to the second team as well there for Goliad, and then Maven Wanch and Carolyn Youngblood were selected to the third team All-State team. And for Cuero, they got 2 honorable mentions there in 4A with Larissa Carbonara and then Emma Flores. Congrats there to all these volleyball stars, again getting 2 selected from the Texas Sports Writers Association All-State teams. And then finally tonight, Astros pitcher Justin Verlander there signed a 1-year deal there with the Giants today. He was a free agent and he needed to find a new destination there for next year. The deal is going to be up there to $15 million again, depending on a physical if he can pass that, but it still should get through that. Again, it's a tough blow for the Astros and their pitching staff, so see what's going to happen there going for the Astros next season. And Don, I got to ask you, being an Astros fan yourself, like, how do you feel losing Justin Verlander now? You think it's going to change the Astros going into next season, or probably not so much in your mind?
He struggled this past season. He really did. He's showing his age, and maybe he can do well with the Giants. That's fine. He's won 2 rings with the Astros, so can't really complain, but he was showing his age a little bit. So was his arm. All right, Max, thank you. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, a fugitive with flair. What made this escapee stand out and how it all ended safely.
It's not Rue's first day in a classroom, but it is the name of his first book. Therapy dogs Rue and his friend Buttercup visited an elementary school to read with 6th graders. Their story focuses on nervous feelings about starting middle school, a topic that hit pretty close to home for these students. Therapy dogs have been around the Dallas County schools for years, but this is their first time putting paws to paper with hopes of making the transition to middle school just a little less rough.
And now for the famous question, where's Waldo? Well, he's saving his owner. The social media famous corgi, known for his daily walks and TikTok followers, recently turned hero after a routine walk took a dangerous turn. His owner slipped on a muddy path, suffering a severe leg injury and finding herself helpless without a phone. That's when Waldo sprang into action, finding a stranger to help and then alerting her landlord and husband. Wow. Paramedics arrived just in time, crediting Waldo's quick thinking. Now, as his owner recovers, Waldo is right where he belongs, by her side.
How about that?
Good job, Waldo.
Yeah.
Yes, Waldo, by the way, the corgis, the favorite dogs for Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Corgi after corgi throughout her life.
They're really smart, you know.
They really are.
How do they know these things? It's crazy.
I don't know.
Anyway, folks, tomorrow we're not going to see any sun. We're going to see a lot of cloud cover. The drizzle will begin around midday, and by the end of the day at this time tomorrow, we'll have a pretty much steady rain. But the big rain is going to be on Thursday. It looks like almost a washout all day long rain. So if you have outdoor plans, just keep that in mind. The rain will be here through Friday afternoon, and then it pulls out just in time for the weekend.
All right, well, a spider monkey in not just a tutu, a bright pink tutu makes a daring escape. Deputies near St. Louis found the fashionable fugitive calmly sitting in a grassy area. She looks like she's showing off a little bit. Clearly amused but focused, the officers carefully coaxed the monkey to safety. One deputy reached out and safely captured the stylish runaway after some team effort. The monkey was unharmed and is now back home with its owner, undoubtedly the most fashionable member of the family.
Wow.
I don't think she wanted to be seen, you know, like that with that tutu on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
She was.
you have to dress.
No, she's famous.
That's right.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for joining us tonight.
Join Carolina and Parker Cox, 25 News Now Sunrise, 5 a.m. Good night.